Hello?
Hello, you can hear me all right, yeah?
Yeah, all good.
Cool. I'll just introduce us then. Welcome to the Bet Chat, the first Bet Chat crypto Q&A. My name's Duncan and I'm the crypto noob in this conversation, and I'm joined by Kash, who's our resident crypto expert. So hello,
Hi there.
Kash. How are
I'm all
you?
good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all good. Just freezing cold because it's
Yep,
snowing.
yep, it is freezing. It is freezing.
Uh, so to get started, do you want to just I guess my first question is how did you get into cryptocurrencies, or like when did you get into cryptocurrencies? Probably the better question, isn't
Yeah,
it?
so I would say back in 2014, one of my friends actually kept on going about um, cryptocurrencies, and at one point I was like, you know what, let me just sit down and look what all the fuss is about. And I sat down and obviously I read about Bitcoin, and from that moment on I was just absolutely mind blown. So since then I've actually spent most of my time researching into the different use cases of crypto and blockchain technology, and now I'm here.
Yeah, I mean, I first met you a couple of years ago and we worked together, and you were brought into the company that I was working in to basically run two crypto tipping services, where like you wrote about different cryptocurrencies every week and put together like a newsletter. And then you did you were just doing like crypto analysis, and that was why you were studying as
yeah
well. So
so
like
so I
you
actually
were ahead of
I
the
enjoyed
game,
that
really,
very
weren't
much
you?
because like I said, I just spent all of my free time researching this stuff. So I thought, why not share my findings with people? Because when I first became obsessed with it, I just couldn't stop talking about it, similar to my friend. um,
Yeah.
so I thought, you know what, why not start writing about it and getting the message out there.
Yeah. So for you, it's not. Is it? I mean, the making money from it is probably an aspect of it, but do you get excited about the tech behind it and stuff
Yeah,
as well?
for me it's both. To be honest, it's like I've always wanted to get into investing. I've found that the financial world very interesting, and but then I would also see at the same time that maybe Apple stocks or like Amazon or Facebook, they would move maybe a couple percentages a year, and that just wasn't enough for me. And then when I
Mm.
came across crypto, I saw that these coins were making 10-20% gains in a day, and I was like, okay, that's more like it. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's what really got me excited about the whole thing. Um,
Yeah. And it's happening again, it
yeah,
seems like.
exactly. It's like it's a cycle. So right now, I would say we've just started a new cycle, and this time around, it's institutions getting involved, and that is big
Mm.
money. Uh, you know,
Yeah, that I saw the news. I think it was literally yesterday, wasn't it? Like Elon Musk and Tesla put in like $1
yeah,
billion or
one point
something
five
into
billion
Bitcoin.
dollars in Bitcoin, and they actually bought around these prices. So it shows that they
Yeah.
do believe in the tech, they do believe in the longevity of this industry. So
Mm.
it really is a positive
Yeah, we
sign.
should. Yeah, we should say for people listening, Bitcoin is it's around 45,000 at the moment, is it, or
Yeah,
something
forty
for
five
one
thousand
Bitcoin?
dollars. Yeah,
Yeah, and what was it like
I mean back in March
a
of twenty
month or
back
so
in
ago?
March of 2020, it was like $3,800.
Yeah, if only we could sell clocks to take us back in time.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, yeah. Well, I wish.
Um, so yeah, so that's before we get stuck into people's questions. I also just wanted to ask you, like, which part of the cryptocurrency sort of market are you focused on now? Like, are you focused on Bitcoins, the altcoins, or like I know that you've been talking a lot about DeFi. Like where is your kind of focus at the moment for
Yeah, you
2021?
see, the way I see it, I would consider like dividing your portfolio up. So you would have maybe 20-30% of your portfolio in Bitcoin and Ethereum. Those are the long-term holds. You should definitely hold some. And then the rest I would allocate to different projects in DeFi. I feel like DeFi has a lot of room to grow, and it has been booming recently. And
Mm.
with more people coming on board now. I mean, just recently the Fed released an analysis of DeFi and the future, and if the Fed is doing that, um,
Yeah, it's a lot. It's more and more institutions kind of taking that.
exactly, and
Can
there
you?
are there are rumors that now that Tesla started investing, more and more are going to follow the trend.
Yeah. Can you just like explain briefly what DeFi stands for and what it kind of is broadly?
Yeah, so in many ways, DeFi, which is short for decentralized finance, is like is basically a system where crypto projects can recreate many of the traditional finance instruments. So whereas before you would have a middleman taking fees for helping you transact, now you have crypto projects come in, and this is huge because it would allow the users to save money, and through this, more people can come on board because first of all, anyone has access to this sort of technology. Anyone can download a wallet onto their phones and get involved. And now, whereas before Bitcoin, you could just transfer some money from one side of the globe to the other very cheaply. Now you have more financial services available to you thanks to DeFi, such as borrowing, lending, and earning interest. And I feel like that is where DeFi is going to eat traditional finance in the future and in the years to come.
Yeah, it seemed to me like when I was reading, because you sent me a few articles about it, it seemed like the Bitcoin is kind of challenging gold's position in the world, and also like payment systems. But DeFi and decentralized finance, so basically like this massive part of the crypto space is challenging the rest of traditional finance. So like you said, like loans, borrowing, like basically any like I guess mortgages, insurance, eventually things like that.
Essentially, yeah.
It's
yeah.
So it's it's like as big as scope as Bitcoin's got. The DeFi sector is kind of got a bigger scope, it seems like, because there's so much that it can sort of, like you said, eat or take over.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, what we might do is do a call in like next week or something and just speak specifically about DeFi. But let's get into like the questions from the customers.
Yeah, sure.
From Bet Chat readers, sorry. So first we've got James, and he asks, he's got two questions. The first one is, what wallet would you recommend for assets which can't be paired with Ledger Nano or Trezor hardware wallets? So maybe first, just if you could just give us your thoughts on the different types of wallets there are for cryptocurrencies.
See, now that we are a couple years into this crypto industry, I would say that it's easier than before to buy, sell, and store your cryptos. So now you actually have wallets that you can install on your phone to do your transactions, and they are very safe. You can use Face ID to unlock them, and you also have different ways of locking them and just like encrypting them to keep them safe. You also have Ledger Nanos and Trezor wallets, which are like hardware wallets where you have to physically press two buttons, for example, if you want to accept a transaction or send some money. These are very secure. Luckily, the vast majority of cryptos, especially DeFi, are built on top of Ethereum, meaning that you can use any Ethereum wallet to store your coins. But I would say
you could.
Yeah, sorry.
No, sorry. Go on. I didn't mean to interrupt.
I was going to say, but for the coins that are not supported by these hardware wallets, what I would say is go on these projects' websites, and usually they would have like a native wallet on there where you download onto your PC and you can use those. But like I said, the vast majority of DeFi projects are built on top of Ethereum, so you can use an Ethereum wallet for those.
And would you say using a hardware wallet or software wallet is safer than sort of keeping your money on a cryptocurrency exchange like Coinbase or Binance? So an exchange is, for people listening who don't know, an exchange is a place where you can just exchange the British pound for some cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, so I would say, again, crypto exchanges, the whole market has evolved. So crypto exchanges are safer than ever before. So Binance, the likes of Binance and Coinbase, a lot of people do just store their coins on there. But you got to remember that with crypto, since it is a decentralized network which these coins operate on, there is no way of getting your money back if you were to lose access to your funds. There's not someone you can go to help you regain access to your funds if the exchanges were to get hacked. Generally speaking, you should store your coins in your own wallet, but again, you could also keep them on an exchange. They are a lot safer now than they were before.
Yeah, it seems like a bit of a trade-off between like ease of use, and because I guess we're all used to like setting up an account with a company and putting money in, and it's easy to do that and buy a bit of cryptocurrency, but like kind of it seems like the whole point of cryptocurrencies is not to be reliant on a middle, on a third party like that. So in the long run, it probably seems best to like get to grips with a hardware wallet or something like that. Would you?
Yeah, exactly. I would generally speaking, I would recommend people to get a hardware wallet and store your coins on there, especially if you are planning to just buy and hold, and keep them there for years to come.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think. Okay, so James's second question is: have you got a checklist for identifying a solid crypto project, e.g., anything to look out for in a white paper? So yeah, like what do you look for when you're deciding which cryptocurrencies to invest in? I know that probably is a broad question.
Yeah,
but
but that's a very good question, and what I would say is that there are many things I actually look for when researching a project. The first thing I look at is the idea that is being proposed. Is it solving a real world problem, or is it simply jumping on the cryptocurrency bandwagon? There have been many projects out there that don't even need blockchain for what they intend to do, but they just use it because it is a buzzword right now, and they are trying to capitalize on that. Furthermore,
that was that was absolutely massive in 2018. It was like there was literally companies who didn't have anything to do with the blockchain, just putting blockchain.
Yeah, so it could be anything on the blockchain, and there would be a frenzy.
Yeah, because they knew the price of the stock or whatever would just go up.
Yeah,
but
precisely. Yeah.
So
So
what else
of course, next thing would be to look at who's the team behind the project. What sort of experiences they have, to see who have they partnered up with. What sort of advisors are on the team. This is very important. Oftentimes in the crypto world, you'll come across a project which hasn't even listed the team members on their website. The question is, what are they trying to hide? If they are keeping their identity hidden, then what are their intentions? These are very important questions to ask.
I remember you saying something to me before about sort of checking GitHub, which is a place where a lot of crypto programming code is kept, and
not every project lists their GitHub page on the website, but that is something you can look into. So you can go on GitHub to see what sort of developers there are working on the project and how often they are actually adding new features. You'll be surprised at how many projects you come across that don't even have a full-time developer building the product. So on there, you can see what they're trying to build, what sort of updates are coming, and how often they are releasing updates. So that is also a very good website to check. Absolutely.
Yeah. So is there anything else you look for? So that's like you look for, is the idea the kind of the biggest thing, like whether it's going to
I would say the idea, the team, partnerships. You need to look at who's invested in the product, in the company, to see, because these are the things that you can actually research to mitigate the risks. And perhaps one of the most important things I would say would be the MVP, a minimum viable product. So you have to have a working product that is perhaps it can be tested, whether it can be tested, or even better, it already is being used by customers. Because now we're at the stage in crypto, even though it is quite early, where you have to have a product that people can use, test, and see, and give you feedback on. Because if you don't, then it is just a good idea on paper, and the risks of those sort of projects are just too high, I would say.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, because some projects will launch with just the idea, won't they? They won't actually sort of have implemented it.
Yeah, that's the thing. At this stage in crypto, even though we are still early, there are projects out there which have a product, which still have a huge amount of room to grow. So these are the projects that we want to be finding and investing in.
Yeah. Okay. And yeah, so those are the main things you look for then. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. So the next question we've got is from Julia. And she says, would you use crypto trading bots? And if so, how do you use them? And could you recommend any? Have you ever tried anything like that?
Personally speaking, unfortunately, I have no experience with trading bots, so I can't help you there. But I do know people who use them, and some people say good things about them, some people say bad things. Personally speaking, I have nothing to add to that.
Yeah. I think when I read that question, I think if you're going into using any kind of automated software like trading bots, like you have to expect it just to help you and not to be able to do the whole thing for you. That's been my experience with kind of looking into that kind of, like, so it might be helpful to like point you in the right direction or whatever, but like those trading bots like that, at least in the finance
And
world,
perhaps one thing I would add would be the only thing I would add would be we are in a bull market, so perhaps a trading bot is not necessarily required. You can simply buy and hold, and if it is a solid project, then the market will take it higher.
Yeah. So just keep it simple then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The next question is from Fatunmis. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. And they ask, how do I invest in a DeFi coin? So,
the way most people do is they actually open an account with Coinbase or Binance. These are some of the biggest exchanges in the world. Excuse me. They deposit some money, be it euros, pounds, and they search up the coin that they want to buy. You have the option of buying at the market price, or you can set a price limit that you'd prefer. Of course, after purchasing the coins, they appear in your wallet, and again, you have the option of withdrawing these into your own wallet, or you can keep them on an exchange. That's totally up to you.
So just to clarify, like DeFi coins, although, and we'll go into this in a different conversation maybe, but they're on the Ethereum network and they're kind of smaller coins. You can still get them through most of the big exchanges, yeah?
I'm sorry, you cut off. You were saying they are mostly Ethereum?
I was saying, even though DeFi coins are like a small market at the moment, you can still buy them on the big exchanges.
Yeah, absolutely. And you got to remember, these big exchanges have a very rigorous screening process for listing coins. So, not saying all the coins on the exchanges are solid projects, but I would say that the ones that do get through, they are somewhat a solid project. So
I didn't realize that. So they're kind of curated lists.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah.
Again, I'm not. This isn't a recommendation for every single coin on the exchanges, but generally speaking, these exchanges do have rigorous screening processes. Is what I'm trying to get across here.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Okay. So the easiest way to buy a DeFi coin, just go back to the question, would be to just use an exchange at first.
Yeah. So open an account with Coinbase or Binance. Search the coin that you want to buy, and essentially, like I said, you can keep it on the exchange, or you can withdraw the funds into a private wallet. It's completely up to you.
Yeah, I did this a few weeks ago, and it took like 10 minutes. Even like the ID verification process is like automated, so it's like really quick.
Again, the crypto market has evolved so much since years ago, so it's a lot easier.
Yeah,
it's easier than ever before, I would say.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah. Okay, so the next question is from Ron, and he says he would like to know more about security. So not the markets can go up as well as down, but what measures are in place to stop an investor's money being accessed and stolen? We've kind of touched on this a little bit, but like, yeah, what are your thoughts about that? Like,
so often exchanges implement like many security measures to protect your account, including two-factor authentication, which I would highly recommend. again, I would recommend using Authenticator app over a SMS text message one, because there have been instances where people have gotten their SIM cards cloned by a hacker, so that when you do receive that text, the hacker receives the text as well, and they can log into your account. So when given the option of two-factor authentication, I would definitely use an Authenticator app. You can download one from the App Store. You can use Google's one. They are great.
So that's if you're using an exchange, yeah?
Yes, yeah, exactly. However, in the unfortunate event of your account being hacked and your funds being stolen, there is no guarantee that you can get your money back, because once the funds have been withdrawn and they are going through the blockchain, there is no way of anyone being able to retrieve those funds. Not Coinbase, not Binance, no one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this is why, like, you might want to people might want to get a hardware wallet or something a bit more secure. Yeah.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
So, and really, but then the responsibility is on the individual to look after that hardware wallet.
Yeah. Exactly. I would also say that there have been instances where exchanges have been hacked, and they have reimbursed their account holders who've been affected, but there is no guarantee that that will happen again in the future. So that's completely up to the exchange.
Yeah. So I guess it's just working out what your risk level is, and like ease of use. Like, it's very easy to use an exchange, but that comes with some risks.
Exactly.
It's very, it's slightly more complicated to use a hardware wallet, and there are risks involved there as well. But it's essentially more safe, especially if you're holding, like you said. Okay, cool. Exactly. So the next question's from Anthony, and we've kind of discussed this a little bit, but he said basically his main concern was like making this stuff approachable for non-tech savvy people. So like, we've already kind of talked about opening an account, but also, he said he's very interested in DeFi, but he's a bit worried that, because he's not especially tech savvy, like, he doesn't he wants it to be clear what he would be investing in and that kind of stuff. And I guess, what are your thoughts on that? Like, can getting into this stuff be simple for somebody who's not very tech savvy?
Yes, I would say so. Like, exchanges now, they are easier to use than before. They are more user friendly. These exchanges are trying to appeal to the masses, so they are trying to make the user interface as easy as possible. I'm currently working on a guide where I will be given a walk through the whole process of signing up, depositing money into an exchange and buying DeFi coins, withdrawing or leaving it on the exchange. I have previous experience of doing this for different clients, and I'll be sure to use easy to understand language for this guide as well. And of course, I'm always happy to help with any questions as well in the future.
Yeah, people can keep sending us questions, and I'll keep throwing them at you.
Yeah, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Yeah.
Okay, so the next question is from Harry, and he actually says he's been investing in cryptocurrencies for a few months now, and he started trying to find new altcoins on Uniswap that will go up a lot, basically.
Yeah.
He says he has a Trust wallet and a MetaMask wallet. And for most coins, he's been able to use those wallets. But he says that there's some very new crypto coins out there that you can't use with the MetaMask or Trust wallets. And he wondered if you could suggest an alternative. I don't know if you can answer that without not knowing what those coins are specifically.
So the way I see it is that most DeFi projects are built on top of Ethereum. So you should be able to use an Ethereum wallet to store those coins, and the Trust wallet and the MetaMask, they both support Ethereum, so that should be possible. Again, I don't know the exact coins in question, so I would say maybe if they are not built on Ethereum, then maybe go on the coin website and see if there's a native wallet available on there. Otherwise, that's how I see it.
Yeah, maybe they're not on the Ethereum network, so that's why those wallets aren't. They're not available.
So the way I would do it is find out what blockchain it is on, and find a wallet that supports that specific blockchain.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds like something you might be able to do. Okay, he had two other questions. One was, what was your opinion on the best exchange? I mean, do you have a sort of favorite out of the exchanges, or?
Yeah, so the exchanges that I use most frequently are Coinbase and Binance. They have the option of they allow you to simply deposit your money on there and just purchase, allow you to purchase whatever coin. Before, as you know, exchanges didn't support Great British Pound, so GBP, so you would have to use euros.
Yeah, and you'd have to. Yeah, when we first worked together, you had like a European bank account that you have to sort of. Yeah, something like that, wasn't it? Or was it one of the new ones or something?
Yeah, so the new exchanges such as Binance, actually it's been there for a while, but they now allow you to deposit GBP.
Yeah.
So you can literally just connect your direct debit on the your card on there and just get purchasing whatever coin that you want.
Yeah. So you'd say Binance and Coinbase are the one. What do you think of Kraken? Because that was one I thought looked pretty good.
Yeah, so I do tend to have an account with these exchanges just in case there is a coin that I'm following and they do get added onto these smaller exchanges that I have an account with. But generally speaking, I would say Coinbase and Binance are the ones I use the most. But Kraken and some of the other bigger ones are okay to use as well.
Yeah. Okay. And he had one last question, but I think we've pretty much answered that. He says, "What do you think the best way to store crypto is?" And we've kind of answered that with a hardware wallet, probably, but it depends on your kind of risk level, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yes. It literally is a matter of preference, I would say.
Yeah. Okay. And now we've got some questions from Josh and Beck of BetChat.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one is about like account size and how much you need to invest in cryptos. And while this is like different for everybody, because it kind of depends on how much money you've got and how much you want to risk and that kind of thing. There's, I guess I rephrase that question and say, like, Bitcoin's $45,000 now. Do you need $45,000 to even get into crypto?
No, you don't need to. Perhaps the great thing about crypto is that you can turn maybe even $100 to $1,700. Like if you think about it, back in March of 2020, Ethereum was around $100 and now it's $1,700. There have been coins which have gone up over 30x within a month. It is possible to make a lot of money in crypto, but don't mistake it for a get rich quick scheme. Crypto, you can get rich quick, but it is not a get rich quick scheme. That's the way I would put it.
Yeah, because not everybody gets rich quick, and it's you've got to know which coins to buy, and you've got to don't do what I did, which is I bought at the peak in 2018, and the market dropped afterwards.
Yeah, but exactly. But if you think about it, if you've held until now, you'd be more than 2x up again. This is the thing. This is what I try to stress to people. You just buy and hold, even if it goes, if it is a solid project, if you are confident in the fundamentals, if there is a solid team pushing the project forward, then you buy and hold. And especially if it's in a bull market, then perhaps even consider buying more in the dips and just holding.
Yeah. Okay, so the next question we've covered. How do you invest in cryptos? I think we've covered that for the moment. So got a question on fees. So the fees involved with using exchanges. So there's quite a few different fees, isn't there? The exchanges charge a fee. There's fees on some of the blockchain networks, and I don't know about decentralized exchanges. Could you just talk a little bit about the fees? And
yeah, so apart from exchange fees for buying and selling, you should also consider the price of transaction fees that are made on the blockchain. So if, for example, Ethereum is congested, then the fees that you'd be paying for moving funds from an exchange or from one exchange to a wallet or vice versa would be quite high. I mean, right now it's around $25 to move coins, but in times when it is less congested, this could be as little as a couple pennies. So you just have to see whether it is worth you moving your coins, and how important it is for you to move your coins in that moment there.
I guess that's another argument for buying and holding as well, rather than trading in and out all the time.
Exactly.
And do you know, sort of, I mean, people can go to the Coinbase website and other exchanges and see for themselves the fees, but I imagine they take a sort of percentage cut on
depending on the amount that you're trading, then there's a different amount of fees that you'd be paying.
Yeah.
So of course, the larger amount that you are dealing with, the lower the fees will be. But this is the case for every exchange.
Non-crypto exchanges as well, just sort of normal trading exchanges. Okay, so the next question is trading cryptos tax-free?
No. So crypto gains are not exempt from taxes, and I would definitely remember to set aside some money so that you can pay for the taxes that you've need to pay.
Yeah, that's very sensible advice.
Because people have this misconception that crypto is completely anonymous and you can become a millionaire without paying any taxes. But believe me, there are ways that government agencies can track transactions and funds, and they can track it back to you. So I would definitely not go down that route at all.
Yeah, I agree with my small amount of profit. Are some cryptos a scam? Is the next question.
So that is a great question, and I would say that some cryptocurrencies are most definitely a scam, and that you should be very careful with what projects you actually invest your money in. I mean, the golden rule actually applies here. If it sounds too good to be true, then it probably is.
Yeah.
So, of course, I would suggest doing your own due diligence before parting with your money.
Yeah, so doing your research, basically. I think what you said earlier about, projects that don't even have, that are just an idea and they don't have any sort of development.
Yeah, they may sound great on paper. You can go on their website and it'll be the fanciest website ever, but you dig a bit deeper and you find out that there's not even one developer working on it full time, and you're just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a Ponzi scheme. So the answer is to do the research and find the projects that aren't scams, basically. And there's a lot of very good, exciting projects out there. Okay, so the next question: is crypto a stable investment?
Okay, well, I would say that stable is not a word that I use for cryptocurrencies. They are highly volatile, and they can go either way very quickly. I would say that some cryptocurrencies are good investments. The general trend in crypto is up. We've seen what's happened throughout the years, even if it does peak in 2017, 2018, and we do have a bear market for a couple of years. The general trend is that it's going back up. Of course, that is not the case for all the projects, and there are projects where they don't create the product that they intended to, or they come across different obstacles that holds them back. But for the solid projects out there, the trend is definitely up, I would say.
So not but that's also part of it. Like a very stable investing environment doesn't give you the volatility you need to make really big returns.
Exactly. I mean, look at it this way. Even Bitcoin in the past 2 weeks, it ran up from like $30,000 to $42,000, and it crashed back down to 30. And now we're back up to 45. We've made new all-time highs again.
Yes, there's been a lot of opportunity there, but it comes with an element of risk, and that's kind of the nature of it, isn't it? Yeah,
exactly.
We've only got a few more questions, and then you can escape. But
no, it's all right. The only thing I would add to that, I think this is again one of the most important things, is that if you only invest money that you can afford to lose, then you're okay. Do not invest more than what you're able to, tolerate if it was to crash maybe 30%, which does happen.
Yeah.
Only invest money you're able to lose. You can afford to lose.
Yeah, it sounds almost like a generic thing to say, that phrase, but it's such a huge thing because, like, especially if you're talking about buying and holding over long time periods, people need to have the kind of psychology of being able to ride out those dips and not sort of panic sell, because then that's how you end up losing money. Like you sell at the low and then you buy in back at the high, like
exactly.
That is really, really important, I think, especially in such a fast moving market, basically. So the next question is, do you invest in lots of different cryptos or focus on like a small amount? So when you're personally kind of like deciding on your crypto portfolio?
See, the thing is, the way the crypto markets are right now is that there are a lot of solid projects out there. There are so many high quality coins. And when you're researching all of these different projects, you just want to like put all your money in them, in every single one. But you got to remember that you can't spread yourself too thin. You have to maybe sit down, make a list of all the coins that you like. Say there's 15. You sit down and you try to cut that down to maybe the top 7, and then you cut down the top 7 to maybe your top 3, and you divide the money that you're willing to invest into these 3 projects. That's the way I do it. Yeah, it's just very important to not spread yourself too thin, I would say.
And then when you get more money, maybe you can look at new projects and that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And alternatively, you can always dollar cost average into the coin. So maybe set aside a certain amount every week to invest in a coin. Whether it goes up or down, you just invest regardless. And that way you get the average price of the time that you've been investing in. So
so you're not just putting it all in one lump sum. And
also, exactly.
That's quite a nice attitude as well, because it's kind of saying like, you've done the research on this cryptocurrency and you believe in its use case and stuff. You believe in its long potential. So you're kind of just putting in a little bit of money, like in a steady basis. It's not like a one-off punt or something like
exactly
that.
Exactly, yeah.
I think this next question we've kind of answered like during the conversation, which is like, what sort of time horizon do you invest for? Like, and that's quite, you look quite long term, don't you?
Yeah, I would. Again, it comes down to the personal risk tolerance of the individual. So of course, crypto does work in cycles. So there are bull markets and there are bear markets. And it's very difficult to time these cycles. So that's why if you are investing, I would say invest for the long term, and that could be on a time scale of maybe 2-3 years, sometimes even longer. Like for Ethereum and Bitcoin, these are coins that personally I'll be holding for many years to come. Even if it crashes, I'll be buying more.
Because you just believe in the use case of them.
Yeah, exactly. Unless something fundamentally changes, then yeah, that's my intentions.
Okay, the next question. I think this is we've kind of discussed this. It's more like sort of the complications around login details and so I guess like what would happen if you lost the password to your crypto hardware wallet?
Yeah, see, what I would say is when you do buy these hardware wallets, it comes with a piece of paper where you write down your 24 word phrase password. You have to keep that safe because, again, if you lose that, there is no one on earth who can get that back for you. That's the thing. So you need to keep that safe. There isn't a company you can go to be able to regain your funds back. It's just not something that's possible.
Yeah. And that's kind of the idea. It's so secure, but then you're responsible for kind of managing that safeguard. That's why some people with a lot of money in crypto wallets will put that code in like a bank vault or something, won't they?
Yeah, and they spread the codes around maybe 6 or 7 different banks. Exactly. Yeah.
It's worth noting that like if you're just getting into cryptos with a little bit of fun money or something, like it's probably fine to use that on an exchange. And
Yeah,
then
see,
like,
that's actually a very good point. Exactly. So I would maybe start off with a couple quid, put in a couple pounds, practice using the different buying and selling and withdrawing funds, to see how it works, to see how long perhaps it takes to do these things, so that you know what to expect, when you are dealing with larger sums of money.
yeah. Yeah, I think it's kind of the same with anything. Like when you're just starting out, like don't dive in with loads of money and just get used to it. And it can be a lot of, I think like that's all the questions we had to go through. But I think one thing maybe to finish on is like, it's just the fun and excitement aspect of this space. Like, I don't know what you think about that. Like, I mean, I'm guessing you think it's fun and exciting because you've been doing it for like years now. So
Yeah, I do. I definitely get a lot of enjoyment out of this. It is very fun to wake up and refresh your portfolio to see how much it's gone up by. Um, yeah, I love that aspect of it. Absolutely.
I'm going to throw one more question in that I just remembered was with DeFi. So just looping back to that, there is this thing as like crypto kind of dividends or a crypto yield. So on top of getting like capital gains, so the price in the coin going up and you making money from that, there's also ways to like collect a yield as well, isn't there? Like you would from your bank
Yeah,
account.
yeah, exactly. So what you can do with some DeFi projects, and there are different ways of doing it for depending on which DeFi project you go for, but you can stake your coins, so you lock up your coins away, and like the company or that will pay you a certain amount of percentage in terms of staking rewards. So say for example you buy 1,000 coins of a certain DeFi project, you lock it away for a period of time, and there are different percentages that you can get paid of that same coin. So not only can you benefit from the price of each coin going up, you also get a certain percentage of staking rewards, which many people would say maybe it is similar to getting paid interest or dividends.
Yeah, yeah, and that's really kind of that's really appealing to me at least because I think like, what is our bank account interest rates? I'm not saying you should put your savings into cryptocurrencies, but like even when you look at some of the percentage returns you can get from cryptos, even putting a little bit of money in can sort of offset the fact that like we're probably going to have negative interest rates coming on bank accounts this year and stuff like. So it's like a whole new area to like chase yield basically.
Exactly, yeah.
But yeah, maybe not as appealing as like
But of course, you got to remember there are risks involved in that as well.
yeah,
Like I said, you do have to lock away your funds for a predetermined amount of time. This could be days, this could be weeks, it could also be a year. And once you do lock your funds away, you don't have access to it. So the market could be rising, and you wouldn't be able to sell it, but you do still get the percentages. If anything, I would say you should do that only in the coins that you believe in long term.
yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Because what the best thing about it is actually where you get paid in the rewards actually come in the form of the same coin. So if the market was to rise, you would actually get paid in the same coin, which would have increased in value as well. It's quite interesting.
Yeah, because then it's rather than a sort of fixed like with dividends in the stock market, rather you're getting paid in the British pound or whatever, like rather than that being like the British pound can go up and down, but not to the sort of extent that cryptocurrencies can go up and down. So like your crypto dividend yield could like be massive if that crypto is on a bull run.
Exactly, exactly, absolutely, yeah. Which makes it all the more exciting, I would say.
Yeah, I really like the idea of that kind of style of investing. But okay, so that's we're reaching the 45-minute mark. So, and we've gone through the questions. I just want to say thanks for like taking the time to answer these questions, Kash, and speak to me.
No worries at all. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
And I might get you back next week or something to talk maybe about DeFi in more depth, because that seems to be like, you know, the most exciting sort of area.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, that's fine. That's all. Sounds good to me.
Okay. All right. Thank you for your time, Kash.
All right. Take care. All right. Bye.